game. So we have Vishy playing the white pieces and Radoslaw playing the black pieces, and Vishy won this in round 1 of the Superbet Rapid Championship being played in Poland. So the game goes e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, the ruler pairs, a6, bishop a4, the main line, knight f6, castling, bishop e7. Everything looks normal here, right, Atul? This is the main line.
Yeah, ruler pairs is a very standard way to play.
d3, b5, bishop b3, d6, a3. I think everything is standard over here. So, I mean, usually the point is c3 is played because knight a5. The point of pushing c3 or a3 is because you want to get the bishop back and save it. But I see he played a side 10 over here. c3 is actually the main move in this position, right, Atul? But he's chosen to play c3.
Then a3 is usually played if you have some plans of playing knight c3. Otherwise, they don't play a3. If you have the plans of playing knight d2, rook e1, and all those things, knight f1, knight e3, knight g3, then they play c3.
Yeah.
And this is also,
tell me. Say.
By playing a3 move, you play knight c3, and also one more thing is there, knight a5 kind of ideas are there from the black side in ruler pairs. That time you can just get your bishop to the a2 square. Usually c3 is played in order to play knight a5, bishop c2. But now here, white tries to maintain the bishop on this a2 to g8 diagonal in order to control the d5 square. As knight c3 is going to be played, and knight d5 is another move which will be played after some time.
Yeah. So basically, white is playing more in the center, we can say, right? Because I think in the c3 line, if we are going to put, there the knight comes in, knight f1, knight g3, and white tries to play a bit on the king side, right? So that is why the bishop comes to c2, so it can aim on that diagonal. Okay, going forward, a3 was played, castling, knight c3, as Atul has already mentioned, rook b8, probably has ideas of b4, I'm guessing. So anyway, there's knight a5, c5 idea, which is very common in the ruler pairs. I don't know if that's happening. So let's see, bishop e3, knight a5, bishop a2.
This is what I was talking about, that he goes back in that position.
And then came knight d5.
Knight d5.
That is why the move a3 to keep the bishop on this diagonal. And then when knight into d5, and of course bishop into d5, you
cannot play d5. It's like now, for some people, positional idea you can tell.
Yes. So the point is, if you play pawn into over here, what happens is this bishop is blocked. And what is the use of keeping the bishop on this diagonal? Blocked by your own pawn. And the bishop has no future. You get here, they're again pawns. So that is.
And one more thing which we would like to add here, Nandini, that whichever type of color bishop you have, dark square or light square, if you want to make it as an active bishop or a good bishop, then don't put your pawns on the same color of your bishop. That will restrict the bishop's play and it will not be good for you.
Perfect. So yes, bishop d5 was played here, and in Atul's words, if it was a knight, it would have been an octopus knight. Let's call it an octopus bishop for the time.
And one more thing which you can add here, Nandini, the distance between the knight and bishop, if it's 2 squares, and whichever piece is in the corner, like the final rank, you can say final, that piece will be restricted. As in this position, the distance between the knight on a5 and bishop on d5 is 2 squares. The knight is kind of restricted. b7, c4, all these squares which Nandini has highlighted are controlled by the bishop. So don't keep your knight on the ring, because kone mein ghoda kaam kare thoda, said by me, some famous personality. You might find it. Who said that thing?
All right. So bishop b7, of course, this bishop is very strong and black wants to get it traded. And I think this did not matter. Vishy went with b4, saying that if you trade, I'll have a pawn at the center and I do not mind it. This knight will still be restricted and cannot go to c6. So it continued with bishop into, e into. That's what happened in the game. Knight b7 since the knight was attacked. And now Vishy just continued normally, rook e1. This is just regular play, developing your pieces. And everything looks equal over here. As you see, the eval bar also says it's equal. Anyway, so f5 was played. Now this is very common because the pawn on e4 is no longer there. It's on d5. So black's idea will be to play on the king side. And that is definitely going to happen. And white may try to break on the queen side in these kind of positions. So anyway, pawn into, and knight into e5. Okay, so basically he's exchanged these pawns. Now I think d5, e5 will be traded for each other. Here the pawn has captured, knight into e5, queen d5. E5,
Yeah.
d5 got traded, and I think this is actually Vishy is happy with this because now the f5 pawn is all alone. Earlier with the pawn on e5, this was actually very strong.
Yeah.
These two pawns are really strong over here.
And one
So
more thing I would like to add here, after knight is on e5 square, there is no other pawn which will be dislodging the knight from the e5 square. So it can become like an octopus knight if we can play f4 in this position. Because any other piece cannot really capture, this pawn cannot really dislodge the knight on e5 square.
Yeah. I think f4 is possible in this position, but Vishy chose to go with bishop f4.
Bishop
f4
f4.
is
Because
also, I
f4
think,
you are
perfectly
like,
fine.
as we said before some time, if you put a pawn on the same color of your bishop, you are going to restrict your bishop. So he doesn't want to do that thing.
So he just activated his bishop rather. I think he has some threats on the b8 rook in the future. So
Yes.
bishop f4, improving the bishop position, supporting the knight, and opening up the rook too. Very nice. And rook e8, black got the rook out of that diagonal. Now c4. We spoke about this move earlier. c4.
Yeah.
And queen d4. Of course, black does not want to capture because capture and not really helping black. This is a backward pawn. Black wants to keep it. So queen d4. And here, Vishy got knight c6.
Very
So it's
important
again
move
a
actually,
double attack.
I will say, because by playing this move, he is also threatening to exchange the bishop on e7 square. If the bishop is exchanged, then the bishop on f4 will be a good bishop.
But the
And
point
black's
is,
pawns on c5, b5 are also a little bit weak.
but the point is, he's actually allowing queen f4 right now. That's
Yeah,
the
knight
point. He's
into e7
allowing
is
the
the-
trade. He's allowing
Yeah.
the trade of the bishops in this position.
Yeah, correct.
So everything is good though. I mean, both the players have played like the best moves till now. So queen into f4, knight into e7 check. Of course, the king has to move. King
So
h8.
knight has a square on d5, right?
Yes, the knight is going to get back here. Now, actually, the position seems equalish material-wise and everything. One thing I don't like is the f5 pawn. If the pawn is on e5, it would have been good. And second, Atul, if we look at the knights, the b7 knight is not doing a great job. But our e7 knight, the white knight is doing well. As he said, in the future, knight d5 is also a possibility.
Yeah, that's why I said, Kone mein ghoda, kaam kare ghoda.
So anyway, going forward, we have rook a2. Wow, these are the moves, right? Which actually you don't see this if you see this more common at grandmaster level. A move like rook a2.
Yeah.
You know, immediately playing rook e2 next. I think that could be the
And
idea.
Nandini, if you can tell them the worst piece rule, then it will be more clear to them what is worst piece rule. Yeah.
You can go forward. You can let them.
Yeah. So in chess, at positional level, if you are thinking about any position, then it is called as the worst piece rule. Like in the position, if you want to improve it, okay, then you just need to improve the worst piece in your position, whatever it is there. So in this position, the queen on d1 is actually doing some job of protecting the d3 pawn. Queen h5 is the threat. Knight on e7 is also having the d5 square. Rook on e1 is also doing something, but the rook on a1 is not doing anything. So that is the worst piece in white's position. So if white activates that piece, then his position will definitely improve. And that's how strong players come up with a good moves, because the moves like rook a2 are not doing or threatening anything, but they're actually improving many things in the position. Because once the rook will be coming in the game, as Nandini has showed that on the e file, it will be doing some miracles, and the pawn on f2 is also protected. So many things will be happening. If you apply this principle of worst piece rule in your game, then you can play many good moves.
Yeah, and also this is like the fastest way to activate the rook. The point is, you can always play like the normal general way, play rook e3, queen c2, get the other rook, but it takes so much time, and this is just a faster and a simpler way to do it, and the queen can join the game or the attack in a short while. You can actually halt on the queen because the queen is the strongest piece. You want to decide the best square for the queen. So going forward, we have rook a2. Very nice. Idea is rook a e2 next, doubling on the e file. Knight d6. Of course, black is improvising the position of the knight and also attacking c4 actually.
Yeah.
Something to note down, c4 is also being attacked. Also, in this position, c4 could be captured. I forgot to mention this. There was the possibility of pawn into and winning the pawn. But the question is, what would happen after this? I think Vishy was ready to sacrifice the pawn
Rook
just for
b2 is
piece
also
play.
one of the good moves in this position. I think knight is not having that many squares.
Oh, lovely. Rook b2.
Yeah.
Knight d6 is not possible because the queen, but knight d8 would be possible.
That is a very bad square for the knight, I will say.
Yeah. But I mean, you will have to come to f7. But what after f7? I mean, where are you going?
Yeah, we're too bad.
Yeah, you can then
And,
play
and
rook
another
here.
possibility is also there. Instead of rook to queen h5 is also a very strong idea. The idea is to play knight g6 and put some pressure.
Yes,
That is
of
also one
course.
of the ideas in the position. Okay, means like I'm not saying like that is the best move, but it
I
is a
think after
possibility.
rook b2 though, you mentioned rook b2. After rook b2, queen h5 is also an idea. And I think also rook here is an idea with an idea of knight g6 and again winning this rook.
Yes.
Oh wait, is this already winning the rook? Unless queen b5.
Yeah, queen b5 is there, but we can instead of
A4.
rook e2, queen d7 was also one of the ideas in the position.
Yes,
The
but
threat of knight g6.
queen b5 we have a4, no? I think we are winning
Yeah, a4, and
the
then
rook.
also again you will be winning the rook
Yes.
on e8 because knight g6 is a very strong threat. So
Yeah,
this is
so
what I'm
anyway,
saying. Like it is a very good position for white.
yeah, so let's see
C4
what
pawn is
happened.
not a free pawn.
Yeah, it's basically a bait.
Yeah.
So knight d6 was played, still attacking. Now maybe the idea could be capturing with the knight, but we'll see what happened. He did not bother because now the point is if you capture, there is still this knight g6 threat.
Knight g6.
And this rook is falling because the rooks are doubled while there's just one defender, two attackers. So anyway, going back to the game, we have queen g5 attacking the knight and probably having f4, f3. I think that could be an idea.
Yes.
We'll have to see what more. Rook e6. Wow. Oh, rook e6 is nice.
Yeah. d6 knight is also under attack by the way.
A6. And other things are just taking control, not allowing the queen to get back. And this queen can also come back in the future if required.
Yeah.
Anyway, so pawn and 2. Was pawn and 2 necessary though in this position? What would happen if we just wait? The knight is attacked. Actually, yeah, the knight has to move.
It's like he needs to do something. No, see, knight on d6 cannot just be captured because rook will be capturing the e7 knight. So it's not that big issue, but it's always better to exchange some of the pawns and make sure that the c4 is a weakness. That's why he went for it.
The knight is actually attacked right now. The point is the knight is defending the rook. If the knight moves anywhere, we have knight g6.
Yeah.
And the rook again falls. And what else could be done over here? What you said is correct, Atul.
Yeah. And one more thing I would like to say, the viewers, itne log dekh rahe yahan pe patiently. Do like the stream, guys, and I hope that you will enjoy many more videos like this on this channel. Not only the streams, we will be uploading some videos also. So do let us know how you are enjoying this analysis and everything in this chat. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Nandini.
So b into c4. G3. Wow. He literally didn't care about this pawn. He played the move G3. What is the point? C into D3. He wants to go F4 or H4. I think that can be the only idea.
Yeah, and basically he is not having any thing on his background checkmate problems, and all those things are also reduced, no?
All right, pawn into, he went f4. All right. I think it's just to remove the attack on this knight so that then the piece is falling for free. Then queen g4, waiting for a queen trade. And obviously the queen is traded. I think the knight falls in this variation. But again, as the bar says, it is still equalish. It's not easy to win this because these pawns are really strong. c4. And rook d4, and this is how he actually won the game. He got the king into the game, supporting the rook. Now the knight is free to move. Knight c6, g5. The pawn is pinned, but he just goes rook here because rook can also capture back there.
Yeah, and he is piece up also, by the way.
Exactly. So gf4, the rook is protecting. There's no problem. Probably king g3 could be an idea in the future. Attack this.
And another thing which you can add is the knight can again come back to e5 square whenever it's
whenever possible. Rook into, king into, rook f6, attacking the knight. Or what exactly is the attack? I don't know. But knight e5, I think as you said, it should be good. The pawn is falling. Even if rook d6 is played, there is king d2.
King d2
this fall.
and pawn will fall.
And after that, there are so many pawns on the board. This is definitely winning. And actually, Radoslaw actually resigned in this position. So this was Vishy's first
And
victory in this tournament.
and many more. After that, he kept on winning. So, and one more thing I would like to add also that Wojtaszek but he was Anand's second in his World Championship matches which he has played. So you can say like Wojtaszek was some kind of a trainer who has worked, and he is famous for his openings. So playing against your second is not that comfortable because both of you know about each other. But Vishy is Vishy. What can I say?